this is a parking lot, and it's built to handle automobiles. But somehow, Saturday morning, this place is transformed from a parking lot into a marketplace.
I had seen European and South American town markets where crafts were sold, and I thought, why not here? Why not have a once-a-week outdoor market where crafts and vegetables can be sold?
And it was obvious that if we were going to make a living off our craft and we were going to be serious about the work we were doing, that we'd have to find something other than the consignment idea. And the market was an alternative to that.
In what way was it an alternative?
Well, it created a situation where the craftsman could sell directly to the person who was going to buy their wares.
The delight of getting so involved in an aesthetic decision. I mean, that is a real trip, and that is, I'm sure, a lot of what the market provides.
We were saying this is the downtown. We're not going to let it die. And this was our effort not to let it die.
Well, there is a special pleasure in meeting the person who makes the thing that you're buying. And ever afterwards, you will remember that meeting, and it'll add a very special quality to the object. That's also why I think it's very important to have that rule, which we do have, that the person selling things should have made them, because that's what makes the market special. Here you're buying something and you're talking to the person who made it.
Whether it's stated or not, I think it's the essential premise of the market is to put people in contact with each other. I mean, to put them into contact, into communication with each other. And the items that are sold at the market are a medium, essentially, for establishing a communication, above all else.
Speaking now as a person selling crafts at the market, you can get feedback from the customers, which is very important and really not obtainable in any other way. I always felt it was very important to be on public property, to have that behind us, to distinguish us from a commercial thing, because we were a community activity.
I think you have so much more sense of community if you feel like this is the county or this is the city that endorses this thing. I remember one Christmas time, I guess it was the first Christmas we had a market. Johnny and I were co-managing that day, and we fit 110 craftsmen in one side of the Overpark. And everybody had like a 2x2 square, and it was really nice, but really crowded. And you know, I had sold pottery all that season, but that day I was just helping put people in their little cubicles.
The most important thing about this market, the thing that makes this market run the way it does, makes it unique the way it is that it can't operate without the cooperation of everybody here. It depends on close cooperation, and it just happens. It's a spontaneous thing like the whole market, that type of cooperation. It takes a good deal of coordination to make that spontaneity really beneficial to the market. Anybody can sell here the thing they made. That's very, very important. So that's the first requirement for the market, and the one that we guard most closely, is that everything that's sold here is made by the person that sells it. We have recently, because of the fact that our space is becoming more and more limited in terms of number of booths, we've had to make additional restrictions, and now you have to live within a certain geographical area to sell here, which is Lane County and adjacent counties. It has reflected what this community is. The people who sell here have to live here, and the materials that they use by and large are from this area. So when a tourist comes through, he's got a capsule of what this area really is. Where better can you get a feeling of what an area, what a community is, than seeing someone take what's there and produce something from it. And that's the secret to a community market, as far as I can tell. But if you try to cater to tourists, if you try to bring in things that you assume they want to see, bring in things that are not intrinsic in that community, then you've really defeated yourself. It has an added advantage because it brings people downtown. Well, a statistical study that was done recently, based on the figure of 4,000 people per day coming through the market, which is perhaps not a conservative estimate, but a reasonable one. It was figured that something like 300 to 900 people went and shopped in the rest of the downtown area after they came to the market, who would not have come to the downtown area at all if the market hadn't been here. That board of directors sets the policy for the market. It has traditionally been a very almost half and half split between people who see the market mainly as a commercial thing. That means the people who sell here, and the people who understand more the cultural and social impact of the market. And those are usually people who don't sell at the market but come down and buy or browse or have a good time. We usually have 20 or 25 new booths every week. Now, this will drop off when the weather gets bad, but during the summer that's true. And you know, half of those people just showed up, which is perfectly all right. That's what the market's all about. That's what makes it spontaneous. The market supports itself solely on the money that we receive as booth fees. As a nonprofit corporation, legally we can't accept money in any other way except by selling booth space and accepting donations. But essentially, the only contact the organization has with a person that's selling at the market is that exchange of the fee. $1.50 means that either they're there for the first time or they sold less than $25 worth the week before. It's on a sliding scale, and most that we charge anybody here is $3. And to pay $3, you have to have made more than $150 the week before. Usually half of the people who pay on a given Saturday pay for more than a $25 week the week before. And when you're talking about 175 or 200 booths, that's quite a lot of money. Out of that figure, let's say on a 200 booth day, between 10 and 15 booths will pay $3, which means they made more than $150. Well, for instance, just assume that on a Saturday when we've got 200 booths, it's a very conservative estimate to say that 100 of those booths are people who are making money that they desperately need. Without having any basis for it, my gut reaction is that the average income here for a booth is $50 to $75 a week. Yeah, it is. But it's not a lot of money. You know, there's something else there besides the money that it's worth. People care about people here, first of all.
we're having more people wanting to sell at the market than we have room for. Last week we had about 235 booths, and we really only have room for 220 at the utmost. We're having to turn some people away, and we're certainly hoping no more will come.
And for the fact that there were probably at some point almost every Saturday close to 2,000 people at once in that area, it's still a very human scale.
My music is basically free for anybody that wants to work with it or whatever.
Well, I guess maybe I'd walk through. I mean, that's about all. And so I thought, well, I'll just do that. I'll just pick up my stuff and whatever else I got and take it over there. And I didn't do nothing big, but I was always able to hit $5 or $10 just about every Saturday, and that was enough. You know, you can buy groceries with that anyhow.
Beautiful. So that, it really made a difference.
Right. Mm-hmm. It really is more fun selling it yourself, right? And you get more money out of it, too, that way. Because you have to pay 25% and 30% some places to sell on consignment. And it's a lot more fun. You meet a lot of people.
This is a hard question to ask, but what would it be like for you if there wasn't a Saturday market?
Oh, boy, I'd probably have to go on relief. I don't know what else I'd do. I can't work.
Well, the background of a handcrafted object is very much a whole lifestyle.
It certainly brought a lot of something really new to a lot of people's lives, to make something and then be able to sell it, whether it's a hobby that helps you feel better about your life or if you really do make your living off of it.